Hi travelers, Tara here. This is going to be a quick open reading. I'm going to use the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. I am working on the, what do you call it? The Romance Gallery. I'm going to be posting up 4 more videos today. For those of you who have purchased your 20 for 20, start looking for those videos, those readings to come in. Those of you that have purchased video readings to come in starting Monday. I'm not going to be notifying you ahead of time that, hey, you'll just get the link from Google Drive. And I forget, I haven't checked the post to see how long that was going to be running, but I may have to bring it up short. There's some, November is going to be a very, very interesting month. I've been already looking at the transits, and I will be posting a transit watch post this Sunday. So make sure you keep your eyes open for it. It's going to be a very interesting month astrologically, simply due to the bodies that are making moves across the sky. The one thing I want to say about that, though, however, is that like I was talking to my friend Clara the other day, and she was like, oh, when Jupiter went into Scorpio, I was like so excited. I thought something great was going to happen. Know this, transits do happen, and don't assume that something is going to happen on the day that a planet makes a move and pings your chart. That's going to depend really on what you have going on in your life in that particular area where that particular aspect will be made. It could be an opposition, it could be a conjunction, it could be a quincunx, it could be a trine, it could be a sextile, but don't assume that on that particular day that something will happen or something won't happen. You know, the divine timing says that it might have to play out. If you don't have anything going on, then, you know, you don't have anything going on. So it really just depends. Now, the reason why I say that I might be cutting the 20 for 20 up short is because I think it's important as we move into 2018 that you guys really understand how transits work so that you can look at your charts or whatever the case may be. So already I have the transit tutorial, and I don't think it's a whole lot. The price, I can't remember, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer a discount off on that. So for those of you who are really, really, really interested in learning about the transits, how the charts are read, what the, you know, I'm posting up articles for you about the asteroids, but you can also get it, you can purchase an asteroid report that's specific to what's in your chart. For those of you who are really, really interested in that, I'm going to offer you guys a discount on that. I don't know when. Please make sure that you're signed up for the newsletter, because that's where I'm going to make the announcement. Another thing, for those of you who had the Facebook membership special, that will be ending when? I want to say February of 2018. And so for those of you who wish to continue afterwards, you will have to sign up again for that. For those of you who do not wish to continue, you know, I want to thank you for your support ahead of time. So I appreciate that. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and get started with this reading here. I've got, oh, I wanted to, I don't know if you're going to see this, but Rachel F., you emailed me the other day with a message. I wanted to tell you that your message was correct. And my response to you was also correct. But I really, really, really appreciate your message, because I had been seeing that too. And I just didn't know exactly how that was going to play out. So thank you so much. All right, I did want to address that for you. So thank you so much, Rachel. Let's go. Oh, go ahead and pull the cards. And I may have to read the meanings of these to you. Oh, 2 cards fell out. Well, the way they would have fallen out would be the 4 of Wands. And then the Wheel of Fortune. Ah, that wheel, that wheel, that wheel. Let's lay the rest of the cards. The Magician. The 5 of Swords. The Ace of Wands. Wow. The Queen of Swords. The 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Wands. And the 3 of Swords. Well, now that's a very interesting vertical, future vertical column here. Very, very interesting. Underneath, we have the 9 of Wands. Now, let me see what's happening here. I have 2 major arcana at the top of the spread. This is our past, present, future, past, present, future with the interplay. Right in the center, I have an ace. And that's very interesting to me. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, this is Jupiter. And the Magician represents the energy of Gemini, but it also represents the planet Mercury. Okay? Now, I will tell you that any of you that have any planets or things going on in your 3rd house of communications, that is the house of Gemini, there is some kind of activity happening for you there. Here's the 4 of Wands. And the 4 of Wands can either be that things are stable as they are, but it can also be an indication that things have been stagnant for you. I do feel here that with this Ace of Wands, that something new is about to occur. Now, the 3 of Swords, this is our ending energy. This is our outgoing energy. So in other words, I feel that if you've been having any issues around that, and what does the 3rd house rule? It rules writing, internet, photographs, messages, studying, small trips, siblings, neighbors, early education, so that's from preschool up to high school. If there have been any problems here, I think that it will hurriedly be moving its way out. And so that could be why this 9 of Wands has presented itself here. Traditionally, the 9 of Wands is the card of determination, perseverance, also of being wounded. And I would say in one respect that some of you, there has been some kind of wounding or miscommunication or argument or difference of opinion here. And you have put yourself, or you are in a position, so to speak, where you're just kind of waiting for whatever. All right. But I have the 2 8s here. And 2 8s say that there's going to be news that will affect the relationship. Well, because this is kind of back behind this 3 of Swords, this tells me that this news has already come in, okay, for some of you. And that there was some conflict or difference of opinion here. But this is also moving out, all right? There's a lot of air energy here. The Magician, the 5 of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the 3. There's a lot of air energy here. And there is a lot of, there's fire energy here. And we only have 1 earth energy. And this, actually, even Jupiter is a fire energy. It represents Sagittarius. So again, here we have this, what do you call it? This connection between Jupiter rules higher education, people who are different from you. So this could be philosophical differences, astrological differences. It could also be about people being highly judgmental, and foreigners, exports, the internet. But the wheel, I don't know if the wheel has turned because of something you have created, or if the wheel has turned because of someone else. You see, we don't know exactly at this particular point who the magician is, okay? If you are the magician, this is a great thing. If someone else is the magician, then you want to be kind of wary about what it is that they're trying to do, and what are their motivations. And we can see here there's a 5 of Swords. The two, what do you call it, major arcana here are in the past top row position, but then they also end up in the past of the present and the past position, okay, of the future vertical column. So let's go to the cards, and I'm just going to read to you what this means. The 4 of Wands. A well-earned, restful pause in your life is near. A new love or business success is possible. It is a time for celebration of success. And that could be why this Wheel of Fortune and the Magician has come out. That you guys have something to celebrate. Something that you have worked on, you've toiled away on. You went through the Ace, you went through the 2. How are you going to do it? How are you going to pull this off? You went through the 3. You went ahead and launched it and did whatever it was. You set your ships a sail. Okay, and now you're at the 4. So that tells me that it's a stable kind of a situation. It can also be kind of stagnant for some of you, but it's a stable situation. So let's look at the Wheel of Fortune. I don't sleep well during the full moon. A cycle ends in your life, and an initiation period arrives, bringing good fortune. You are faced with the dilemma of choosing the right course that could take you higher on the wheel or let you fall. Obstacles that may threaten your plans will last only a short time. And that's why I feel that this is leaving. This energy is leaving. Okay? So whatever difficulties you may have been experiencing in a situation or with another person, it's going to be leaving. Here is the Magician. A person who has the ability to draw psychic energy from the universe. A student, especially in the arts, having the self-control and determination to reach a goal. This is an excellent time to make certain that thoughts and energies flow in harmony. And in one respect, I'm kind of picking up here with these 3 cards, because that's a 5. 5 speak to outside influences. The 3 means that there could be 3 components to a situation, but it's definitely about thoughts, perceptions, beliefs, and ideas. Someone trying to, I don't know, change a perception or a belief, maybe through speaking or through medium, let's say video or letters or post or whatever the things that both Sagittarius and Gemini rule. Okay. The 5 of Swords. Let's look at the 5 of Swords. Now, the 5 of Swords traditionally is interpreted as, is it really worth it? There are no winners in the situation, right? but it speaks to outside influences that you have no, that's what fives are. They're conflict in which you have no control over it. And so if you have no real control over it, the only thing you can control is how you choose to respond to it, right? The Five of Swords, this could be a time of betrayal, misfortune, and loss. Stand up for yourself in a dispute. So in other words, if somebody's been misaligning you or, you know, harassing you or just being downright mean and ugly to you, you know, you can stand up for yourself, but I would caution you to think carefully in terms of how you want to do that. Yes? Okay, let's look at this Ace of Wands. Where is it? Here it is, the Ace of Wands. Past efforts and thoughts directed toward change allow you to take on a new role or make radical changes in your lifestyle. Well, that's interesting. And that card, the wands, you know, are traditionally interpreted as having to do with work and creative projects. But I always look at the wands like your determination, your ambition, your drive, your fighting spirit. It can bring war, heat, anger, aggression, fights, disputes. It is a fire energy, but it is a quick moving energy. All right. So if there's something that you need to do to, let's say, try to rectify whatever this Five of Swords is all about, the Ace in the center is telling you, you seize the opportunity now and don't back down from whatever it is that you may have to do. Sometimes you do have to be defiant against people and hurt people's feelings to stand in the truth of who you are. So here is the Queen of Swords. Now she's quite interesting. And let me, in this particular deck, she's very, very interesting. Normally you would think this would be somebody who is the way it's traditionally read is somebody who is very cutting or can be very destructive, very mean-spirited. But in this deck, she says, if you can bring forth your willpower to cope with an emotionally trying event, you will undergo positive growth. This is the Naga. Okay, and this says, use this card, it can represent a formidable, strong-willed woman who has learned to cope with deep emotional loss. So in other words, whatever losses or emotional pain that you are experiencing, if you can seize upon that and focus that in the manner that you should be able to focus it, because what does a magician do? He marries his personal intention and his will. And if you can marry those things together, for some of you it is perhaps a work in progress, that you will indeed come through this. Okay? If you can bring forth your willpower to cope with an emotionally trying event, you will undergo positive growth. Eight of Pentacles. Again, you can only be responsible for how you respond to something. This card can indicate professional progress. Hard work will bring you rewards and satisfaction. Eight of Wands. There's a lot of Wands energy here. The Eight of Wands. There is rapid movement in your life. Be prepared to take sudden action in order to gain success. You may receive a message from a distance or make a journey. Now, what's interesting to me is this is not a centaur, half man, half horse, but he's riding, this horse is coming out of an energetic portal, and to me this is related to Sagittarius, the centaur. This could also be I just posted an article on Asclepius. Asclepius and Chiron are related to each other through the act of healing and teaching, dream work, but also that they have that centaur energy, so they're connected to each other. Now here is the Three of Swords. And we're looking at this, and I feel that what the Magician with the Queen of Swords, the two messages of these cards with this Three of Swords in the future is coming up, is saying that if you're able to marry your personal will and your intentions, you're able to harness that emotional difficulty that you've been experiencing, you really, you can come through this. That's going to mean that some people aren't going to like it, or that sometimes in this deck, this card kind of speaks to jealousy. And not jealousy per se, jealousy, but somebody that you rub the wrong way. Now, it says an omen of heartache, sadness, losses, and possible rejection. This card reveals the pain of separation in a love relationship. And it says, if you need to focus on this, this is the card that you focus on to let go of emotional losses and pains. Okay? And I think for some of you, this is indeed what will be happening here. I just had someone contact me about a loss. I think a couple of people have contacted me about that. So know that this is a time when things are changing. Here is the wheel at the very top of the spread. It may not be easy. It may indeed be painful. There may indeed be people who don't agree with you, or try to, what's the word? Dissuade you in some way, or argue with you, or try to create problems for you as you try to move through. But here is the Ace of Wands. Now is the time to either decide how you want to do it, and where are you going to focus your energy and your time. Are you going to focus your energy and time on dealing with people that, for whatever reason, are intent or attempting to interfere with you moving on to the next level? Only you can control how you react to it. Now let's read the overall energy of this Nine of Wands. Keep quiet and listen. You will find something out that will help you to better your life. A cycle of completion follows a job well done. This is a protective card, and it neutralizes any nearby negative cards and intensifies the positive ones. So in other words, this Five of Swords, it's neutralized. This Three of Swords is neutralized. This is the overall energy. In other words, remember that you don't really need protection because you are already protected. Okay? And so this is about, how do people come in and disturb you psychically? They enter into your mental field, or they enter into your emotional aura. Okay? And it's up to you to figure out how to shield and block that. And that simply is not accepting whatever it is that they have to say, or whatever it is they're trying to do. Those are your psychic defenses, staying in your own lane. And other people staying in theirs. So let's look at the Judgment, because that is underneath. If this didn't, the Judgment. A time of change requires careful thought, patience, and persistence. You are protected from negative happenings, and your problems are easily solved. So basically, and the other thing with all of these swords cards here, the other thing could be that it's really the way that you are thinking. Something indeed has come in to kind of throw you off balance. I'm going to use the Endo-Venus Sibyllus here. I don't think this is a It could be a relationship. Well, I mean, you know, you're always in relationship with people, but I mean, like, I don't sense that this is a romantic relationship. I think this has to do with either friends or family, maybe even some people that maybe you work with, colleagues, random people, so to speak. And that's for lack of a better term. Because what I find most interesting is this Four of Wands, Five of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. Almost as if someone has been waiting and perching for their time to come in and disrupt things. And they are working extremely hard on doing that. But the energy of Chiron, or the energy of Asclepius, the energy of Sagittarius and Jupiter going out this way, says that they're going to be sadly disappointed. I don't think I read the Three of Swords, did I? I don't remember. Let's see what this has to say. Oh yeah, an omen of heartache, sadness, losses, and possible rejection. This card reveals the pain of separation in a love relationship. It says the sword on the bank represents the consciousness. There's one right in front. Okay. The upright sword in the water denotes the subconscious mind. The third sword dangling from the tree limb symbolizes the higher consciousness or universal state of mind. None of the swords attract Jenny. Green teeth, that's the character on this card, as she has no conscience. And I don't think that's saying that someone doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. I think it is simply someone who's so wrapped up in their own ego for whatever reason that they're stuck on the mental plane. Okay, wrapped up in their own mental energy, their own mental ego, when what they should be doing is focusing on something else. So let's take a look. I want to see what this Five of Swords is all about. And then I'm going to look at the Three of Swords. And then we're going to pull, I'm going to pull a Heart Oracle Tarot, is what I will do. Now, and this is where you are presently. You know, some shit didn't happen, but there's a gateway that's open, and that's quite clear here with the, and let me show you why I say that. There's a portal way here open. The Ankh is the key of everlasting life. Here is the sun, which kind of mimics this portal way that is open, and along comes this horse right out of the portal way. So there's an energetic portal way open to you right now. Should you choose to step through it, be brave. Be brave. Look. That's it, like, to me, it speaks to, it's reflected back. That's an energetic portal way. And for some of you, you may be dealing with this around the time of the full moon. Strange things can happen around the full moon. You know, and the other thing that is interesting is these swords and the Queen of Swords. They're not even in the water. So what this tells me is that you have the power to control this situation. Water represents emotions. Swords represent thoughts. So this is really about creating reality with your own mind power. No matter what are the tricks and illusions that are trying to crop up in front of you. A pleasant pastime, hope, and a reconciliation. Now, what did that Five of Swords tell us? Obviously, something didn't go as someone wanted it to, or there was an attempt to reconcile and or make up. Yes, this could be a time of betrayal, misfortune, and loss. So stand up for yourself. Well, you know, you tried to do it the nice way, and perhaps that person didn't want to cooperate with you. That's a choice. Let's look at the Three of Swords here. And then I'm going to look at a sincere friend who turns out to be an enemy. Weakness. Isn't that something? This is someone seriously trying to usurp your own power. And typically people do that when they feel a lack of their own power, okay? That's how you get energetic cords. People they feel weak in some way, so what they try to do is come in and weaken you, and they feed off of that. Well, you can either allow them to or not. Isn't that something? Hold on one second. I want to take a look at let's see if hold on. My email's going crazy. What am I doing? I don't even know. I'm so tired, you guys. Okay, what we want to do is see if the Four of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Ace, because these cards touch each other. They touch this Wheel of Fortune. So we're going to take a look at this. There are no cups here. So this, in one respect, tells me that this is not a romantic situation. This could be, you know, friendship, business, like I said, random people. You ever, okay, here it is. Now, this is not next to the Magician, but it kind of touches. The Four of Wands appearing next to the Magician tells of exciting and original ideas, concepts, and projects. It also tells of originality and goals. There is no meaning next to the Wheel of Fortune. I have seen cases where people have negative thought forms attached to them by random people on the street. And I can see that through the, what do you call it, in the Akashic records. I don't go that in-depth with etheric cord cutting sessions, but you would be surprised at how many hooks or drains or things that people can throw out at you. Somebody could see you on the street, don't even know you. Ooh, she thinks she's something. That's a negative thought form. And if your defenses are low, that shit can attach to you. Okay? People assume a lot of times that tarot card reading or astrology or any of the occult sciences, they are a divination. They are divination processes, but what you're reading is energy. I can't speak for anybody else out there, but I read energies. I can pick up energies very, very quickly, have the ability to get to something right away, can identify something right away. And I don't know if that's a curse or a blessing sometimes. You know, and that's why I have people fill out forms before I will, Five of Swords next to the Magician indicates a possible misuse and abuse of abilities, skills, and talents. This may be caused by overconfidence. Next to the Magician indicates that some reconsideration needs to be put into recent plans, as there are some aspects that have been overlooked. It asks you to reconsider some decisions you have made as of late, as there is a need for adjustments here and there. If you are hesitant to begin, it is advisable to wait until the timing is more auspicious. Isn't that something? Now let's go to the Ace of Wands. And again, it kind of speaks to, with that Five of Swords, it kind of speaks to someone who is really just focused on trying to achieve whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. Overconfidence. And perhaps they themselves should step back and reconsider where they're focusing their energy. That's really what I wanted to say. Let's look at this Ace of Wands here. But again, only you can control yourself. Nothing about that. So let's take a look at the 3 8s here. I'm sorry, the 2 8s. We know that 2 8s mean that there is news that will affect the relationship. And again, this doesn't have to be a romantic, it could be a working relationship, people. It doesn't have to be or friendship or familial relationship at that. It could be somebody really that you barely know. Okay, so the 2 8s implies that there may be a slight concern in regards, listen, to a new romance relationship or partnership. And remember, I was saying this could be, it's not the 10 of Swords. This is the 8 of Swords. If I put the 5 and the 3 together, that's the 8 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords is that card of feeling like a victim, or that card of being stuck in a mental space and not being able to get out of it, right? And not knowing that the reason that you're stuck there is because you choose to be. You can't see your way out of it for some reason. It can sometimes be the card of obsession. Okay, it's not the 9 and it's not the 10, it's the 8. So you want to be careful with that. Let's take a look quickly at, and I've got a reading coming up, so let me take a quick look at the other, and this is just a plain old, card of news that will affect the relationship. And that's exactly what it says. You will receive news that affect the relationship. That's all. So let's pull one Heart Oracle Tarot. And this will be our full moon reading. Remember I said the moon will be doing the most on this day, tomorrow, depending on where you are. The moon's going to be doing the most. So just bide your time. Things will pass in a few days. And make sure that you keep your eye open for that transit watch, because we've got some interesting movements coming up. The crown chakra. This tells me that a lot of you are worried about either someone who has entered into your mental body aura. Okay. I would assume that this has come about through the full moon energy. This chakra is located at the top of the head, and it is known as the receiver of light. It links you with the universe, the infinite, and your higher consciousness. It is the connection between wisdom and spiritual insight. What you need to do is to, you can go on YouTube and download chakra realignment MP3s. You can listen to them. And I do that every night. I put mine on a loop, listen to them all night long. It's like 15 minutes, all 7 chakras. And the reason why it's very important for you to keep that channel way clear and open and strong as the other ones and this is something I've learned through the Akashic records. A lot of times people operate on the third dimension. Remember I was talking about somebody stuck in that mental energy? That's the third dimension. It's on the physical plane right here. They can't separate whatever they're thinking or whatever has happened or whatever they're trying to do from their own ego. So for whatever reason, there's something that's keeping them stuck in that particular energy, the windmills of their mind. When you are clear up to the fifth dimension, that is the dimension of information. In other words, you're able to tap into your higher guides and your higher consciousness. When you tap into the seventh dimension, you are dealing directly now with divine consciousness. Okay. And that will give you the answers that you need to anything that you ask. So if you're really right now, you're struggling or you're stuck in a space, something's worrying you, somebody's vexing you, there's a situation you can't seem to figure out, you're going to have to figure out how to clear that energy through your crown chakra, clear all of your chakras. Remember I was telling you a couple of days ago, ground that energy. Use this full moon to ground that emotional energy and reconnect back and try to get your crown chakra open. Okay, clear it of any negative energy, all of your chakras, clear it and then reseal it. Okay, and I would advise, if you're into visualization, please don't use white light. And the reason why I say that is white light is the purest and the most protective, but sometimes white light can block whatever it is you need. So I suggest you try using pink light or rose quartz crystal light. Okay, it's a softer light. It has still white in it, so it is protective, but it also allows things to come through, particularly if you're using pink light. Pink is the color of love, of soothing, of friendship. So try to visualize that particular energy. And let's move through this full moon. And until next time, namaste.